Évidemment, dans les pays où le cadastre n'est pas opérationnel, il y a des pays, bien sûr, où c'est le cas, ou des pays réputés corrompus. Parce que, effectivement, le fait de pouvoir enregistrer les transactions, c'est la protection du droit de propriété qui constitue un élément essentiel de la disponibilité du capital et du crédit, et donc de la croissance économique, etc., de l'amélioration du niveau de vie. Des expériences ont été menées il y a longtemps déjà au Ghana, c'est des ONG qui l'ont mené, mais ça s'est un petit peu généralisé. On a entendu parler de l'Ukraine avec les terres agricoles, en Géorgie, au Honduras, qui a vu à l'époque du piratage massif du cadastre. La promesse de la blockchain, c'est de simplifier l'enregistrement de l'acte de propriété et faciliter sa consultation. Simplifier donc et fluidifier les transactions. D'après une étude de Goldman Sachs, les États-Unis pourraient économiser de 2 à 4 milliards de dollars simplement en enregistrant toutes les transactions des biens immobiliers sur un registre distribué. Anetta mène une expérience, une étude très intéressante en comparant ce qui se passe en Suède, qui était vraiment un des précurseurs dans le domaine, UK et le Luxembourg. Anetta va nous présenter ce projet. Anetta, à toi.
Bonjour, merci Laurent. So I will switch to English. Can you please tell me if you can see my slides, because I can't see you anymore? Hello?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you so much. So, well, I must say that the number of presentations we're going to have today shows that nobody probably doubting that blockchain technology is going to revolutionize the way real estate works. And at the same time, it's still not quite clear what would be the implication of this change. And what my project is trying to understand is to actually, what is going to happen and to shed some light into these developments. The project is called Application of Blockchain Technology for Land Administration Systems, or APTLAS, and it is funded by the FNR, and I conducted at LISER, my host institution. Its major objective is to investigate the blockchain-based reorganization of urban land systems and housing markets in the 3 countries that Laurent just have mentioned. And just to explain a little bit, why should we actually care about the land administration system to understand this change? And well, it's not easy to explain what those things are in 6 minutes and without confusing people, but I will do my best. So land administration systems could be understood as an integrated infrastructure that facilitates the process of the implementation of land policies and land management strategies. And the 2 basic elements of it that you are all familiar with are land registry and cadastre. And they're usually centralized. And actually, they, for centuries, played a key role to establish the relationships between land, people, and built environment, and transform those relationships into tradable commodities, such as property rights. But with time, people learned to derive more complex products based on those rights, such as, for example, you can see on some of those on this schema. So all kinds of things, you mortgage debt, other securities, property, all kinds of things. And today they give rise to a number of industries as well. But all those industries depend on constant flow of information coming from a much larger decentralized network of information systems that include LIS as well. And most of them are organized in silos. And of course, such organization gave rise to a number of mediators whose work consists of bridging the disruption in the information flows and reduce information asymmetries. And many of them have long become an integral part of these markets and industries, and we actually no longer perceive their work. So for example, when we sell a house, I mean, we know that the process is very complex and that there are many parties involved, but we no longer understand exactly what they do. And now, as both private and public parties start to experiment with blockchain, trying to connect many different parts of this decentralized network, They challenge the established land management strategy, organizations of markets, value chains, and power balances. And a Swedish example provides a good illustration of this scenario. So let me just briefly introduce it. In 2018, the Swedish state-led consortium has tested an application based on the permission blockchain to power the entire life cycle of residential real estate transactions, including mortgages. These are the phases. And this application allowed to connect all the transacting party in a single digital space, eliminate the use of paper contracts. You can see that many of those phases still include a lot of them, which in turn allowed to streamline the whole workflow and reduce the time between the signature of the first legal agreement from months to hours. But this modification would make a number of the services redundant. For example, there would be no longer a need to synchronize all the information between those multiple parties, or there would be no longer a possibility to extract valuable data from the paper contracts ahead of the authorities. And this would, of course, produce major disruption for those industry involved with valuations and analytics. Luckily for those to be affected, up until today, the state-led consortium is still waiting for the adoption of the legislation that would allow signatures to sign real estate contracts. In the meantime, an alternative and much less disruptive platform has been devised by another consortium comprised of private incumbents. And this platform has become an immediate success as it managed to somewhat streamline the transactional workflow while preserving the status quo. So this development actually illustrates that a mere attempt to adopt a distributed DLT application and challenge existing routines might steer dynamics that change the way property market is organized and actually made an agency that started all those changes to adapt to the new reality. So that's the little scheme that's supposed to help how this works, to understand how this works. And what this also proves is that the direction of this change cannot be simply deduced from the technological capabilities of blockchain, their compliance with legal frameworks, or cost-benefit analysis. So in order to understand this change, my project focuses on the basic elements of LAS, land administration systems, such as land registry, and blockchain application designed to upgrade them. But at the same time, it also looks at other emerging DLT applications and the products to which they give rise in order to understand how they would affect the complex organization of housing markets. And this holistic approach will help to better understand not only the direction of residential real estate markets reorganization, but also to identify risks and opportunities for both the blockchain-induced property market for household and industries, and arising from blockchain-induced property market transformation. Thank you.